Am I the asshole for crashing a groom's photo shoot? Some quick context. My main friend group these days I know through my wife since I'm a transplant in the city where we're settled and she's a local. She grew up with her friends here while I've been with her for about a decade. We're at the age when more and more friends are getting married, myself married for about a year. Fast forward to a recent wedding for my wife's best friend in our city, where the main event is a wedding reception the day following a small legal marriage ceremony. So, the day of this wedding reception, my wife and a handful of close friends, guys and girls, spent the day getting ready together at the newlyweds' house, the bride and groom, and then later at the reception venue a few hours before the start of the event. I was essentially just tagging along for the day since I know everyone here and see them every week or two regularly. And naturally, I stayed with my wife for the day. So, as we're hanging around at the venue in our designated waiting room, eventually a photographer called out saying, "All the guys come out for photos." I wasn't sure what to do since I didn't know ahead of the time that there was even photos, but all the men got up and started to leave, and so I followed them since we were all together so far. But as we were leaving the building for photos outside, it started to dawn on me that maybe I wasn't meant to be in this group, as I may have heard the phrase pseudo groomsman used in some of the chatter while walking, and I was not aware of any unofficial groomsman status beforehand. So before we got outside for photos, another group member noticed me and asked if I was okay. I told him I'm not sure if I should be here right now. And he said, "Do you want me to ask the groom?" And I said, "Sure." He quickly checked with the groom and came back saying it's fine. So I kept going along with things and ended up being in a roughly 30-minute photo shoot with what I later found out were the unofficial pseudo groomsmen group of buddies. In the end, it turns out I was not meant to be included in the groomsmen photo shoot. This caused trouble for the bride and groom because it was never their intention to include me, and it causes trouble for my wife for obvious reasons. In retrospect, there were some hints that day that there would be an activity that would happen without me, which ended up being this photo shoot. But because it was never explicit or spelled out for me, I ended up joining in on the photos by accident because I was still unaware and probably caused a situation where it was too awkward to tell me to leave, even though I made a weak attempt at removing myself from the situation. So, in a way, the people at the center of things are mad at me. And I feel bad that I crashed these photos, and also feel bad that I was ultimately in a space where I wasn't strictly welcome.